billionaire Charlie Munger just went on TV, who is also a BYD investor, compares BYD with Tesla stock, contradicts himself while doing so, and accidentally reveals that BYD stock is actually worse to own than Tesla stock. Let's take a look.
Charlie, you bring up BYD, so I'll jump to a question from Steven Spencer, who writes in from New York, New York. He's curious why Mr. Munger prefers an investment in BYD to Tesla.
Well, that's easy.
I watched many Charlie Munger speeches before, and usually he does not pause for so long, so it must not be that easy.
Tesla last year reduced its prices in China twice. BYD increased its prices. We're direct competitors. We're so much ahead of BYD.
Exactly. Tesla is so ahead of BYD that you can't really even see BYD. Here's net profit per vehicle. You can see Tesla in red here, and then you can see everyone else sort of clumped together, while Tesla is so much ahead of everyone else. And this is where Charlie Munger really contradicts himself, because he is saying that increasing prices is good. But by saying this, he really means that this company will make more money. So BYD is better because it makes more money per vehicle sold, right? That's why it is better. And yet, Tesla makes more than 5 times the net profit than BYD. If BYD lowers its pricing noticeably, it will lose all of the profits. Tesla still has quite a bit of room to cut prices down lower if it needs to do so. I mean, what Charlie Munger is saying here does not make any sense really when you think about it, because for this to be an actual fair comparison, Tesla would first have to drop prices to the level of margin that BYD has, and then from there, we can compare, okay, will Tesla increase or decrease prices? So when Munger says that Tesla is worse because it decreased prices and BYD increased prices, and yet Tesla still makes more money per every vehicle sold, he accidentally reveals how much better Tesla really is than BYD.
I mean, BYD is so much ahead of Tesla in China, it's almost ridiculous.
I too would say it is ridiculous, but ridiculous for a different reason. Here we can see the number of vehicle sales in China for BYD, which includes plug-in hybrids. And here in red, you will see Tesla sales. And here you will see the pricing of these vehicles. As you can see, Tesla sells in very different segments. BYD sells cars that are half the price of Tesla vehicles. That's the most popular segment for BYD cars, and Tesla sells significantly more expensive cars. That soon is going to change, and Tesla will be competing with BYD directly. And once Tesla makes the Model 2 or the next generation vehicle, which could be announced, by the way, on the Investor Day on March 1st, that is going to be very difficult for BYD to handle. That is when true competition will start.
If you look at BYD, which most people have never heard of, if you count all the manufacturing space they have in China to make cars, it would amount to a big percentage of all the land in Manhattan Island. And nobody ever heard of them a few years ago.
All right, let me jump to another question. This one comes from Michael Aseo, who says, this is in regards to some movement at Berkshire, some sales of Berkshire's stake holdings. Did the sale of some BYD and Taiwan Semi shares have anything to do with the relations between the United States and China, or was it for purely economic reasons?
Well, BYD is selling about 50 times earnings. That is a very high price. On the other hand, they're likely to increase their auto sales by another 50% this year.
Do you know which other company is likely to grow 50% this year as well when you look at the deliveries? Tesla, although the official guidance from Tesla is just a little bit under 40%, but that assumes some sort of unexpected disaster coming, like a tsunami, an earthquake, another conflict between countries, maybe a factory shut down forcefully where Tesla could not upgrade the production lines. If we don't have something absolutely terrible going wrong, then likely we are going to have 50% year-over-year growth. But BYD's growth is not really profitable. When Tesla grows, it makes profits. In fact, about 5 times more profit per vehicle sold, roughly. I mean, look at this. This is quarterly figures in yen, and this is Q4. And BYD is here around 200-ish thousand or so, but Tesla is over 1 million. Now, Tesla did cut prices, and that profit is going to be a little bit lower, but Tesla is still going to make wild profits. Also, here's a market that supposedly BYD is going to conquer. And this is battery electric vehicle sales in Germany this January. BYD, as you can see, is nowhere to be seen here, having basically no sales at all. Tesla, on the other hand, is clearly number one, beating even Volkswagen, which is headquartered in Germany. And also, let's not forget that US and China are not exactly friends, and yet Tesla is able to operate in China no problem. How come BYD is not in the US though?
So we sold part of ours, by the way, years ago. Not years, but about a year ago at a much higher price than it's selling for now. You could understand why some people will sell Berkshire's BYD stock at 50 times earnings. At the current price of BYD stock, little BYD is worth more than the entire Mercedes Corporation. Market capitalization. So it's not a cheap stock. On the other hand, it's a very remarkable company.
In the long term, BYD may turn out to be not a terrible stock to own. However, BYD is actually a car company. It is not a technology company, unlike Tesla. Also, Electric Viking, who loves BYD, and he actually purchased a BYD vehicle, and he generally likes the vehicle, he says that he absolutely hates the software. And that is going to be a little bit of a challenge for BYD because fundamentally it is not a technology company. It is an auto company. And it may turn out to be a great car company, but still a car company. Just to be clear, they are not entirely just a car company. They do have other products as well, but fundamentally they are not going to be a technology company. And while compared to other companies, the vertical integration of BYD is sort of impressive, when you look at the bottom line, yeah, you don't see it in the bottom line. It's not that profitable compared to Tesla.
And by the way, I want to tell people the great contribution I made to the success of BYD. We got into it through Li Lu, and then it was a little company that knocked off the Japanese cell phones. And the chairman, who's kind of a genius, said, I want to buy a bankrupt little crappy auto plant and go into the auto business. From dead scratch when he's making cell phones, little tiny nothing company. And both Li Lu and I tried to talk him out of it. We said, please don't do this dumb thing. If you get your head handed to you going into the auto business, little BYD and so forth. Well, last year they made more than $2 billion in the auto business from that standing start at zero. It's unheard of. But Li Lu and I deserve all the credit because we tried to get him, we tried to talk him out of doing what worked so well. Which shows that there's some accident in life.
This also shows another thing. As wise as Charlie Munger has been in his life, and he is a billionaire, he is quite rich, he did not want BYD to get into the auto business. So if he doesn't like the auto business in the first place that BYD is in, how or why would he even like Tesla then? Munger likes to say that a year in which you do not change your mind on some big idea that is important to you is a wasted year. Well, I guess this year is not going to be a year when Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett invest in Tesla stock. Buffett and Munger, they missed Apple in the early days. They missed Google, Facebook, and every other tech company. And now they are about to miss on Tesla again because they missed the initial run-up. And they are not going to get in, I don't think, into Tesla. When you really think about it, if you are in Tesla stock for the long term, then you want the stock to stay cheap if you are going to hold it for 10 years. If Warren and Munger were buying Tesla stock already, I think that would force Tesla stock to go up. So this is presenting us a buying opportunity still. While I don't think Munger will make a move to purchase Tesla stock, Warren Buffett being 92 years old, maybe, just maybe, 7 years, 8 years from now, if Warren's health is good, maybe he will eventually give in and buy some Tesla stock, especially if Elon appoints a CEO and he just focuses on product development. And these are 20 minutes of Elon Musk explaining the Tesla stock buying opportunity. My name is Matt. Post this, like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.